Were you always wanting to get into acting and performance? At what age did that bug hit you?
Well, I guess I always had the bug. I mean, I was the class clown. I was incorrigible. I was always in trouble in grammar school, always up in front of the class, doing anything I could to disrupt the class. And that's usually the first sign of an actor. And so I think I had the bug from the beginning. And then in the third grade, I did Hans Brinker in the Silver Skates, played Hans Brinker, and I liked it. And then I just got in trouble the rest of my school years and did some school acting in high school and then later on in the Air Force. And listen, all this is available. I have, this sounds very grandiose, but I have an autobiography coming out.
Wow.
And it's being published by a fellow named Tim Mark, who has a website called HalloweenFuntime.com. And
yes, I've been in contact with Tim, I think, in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am writing every night. I'm really enjoying it, and it's all about my life. And Tim does not want me to mention the title. We got a real title, but it'll be I'll let you guys know about it. Maybe you can we can talk about it then.
Okay.
I would love to talk about it when it comes out. How does that feel going back through your life? What's that process like?
Oh my God, it's so cool. I love it. It's just great. I don't know. It's the highlight. I get on my computer at night, and I just write it and I email it to him. It's so easy, and it is such a wonderful experience. I'm just thrilled, And I was thinking about. I live at Manhattan Plaza, which is a famous building for performing artists, and we have a lot of wonderful character actors living here. Dylan Baker and J.O. Saunders, and they work a lot more than I do. And I'm just thinking, I see them in the films, and I said, geez, I wish I had a better career. But how many people are writing their autobiography? So I really am honored that somebody wants to publish it, and that people will maybe read it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, take me back to the Friday the 13th opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You were working in some capacity for Mr. Cunningham before the opportunity came up. Is that true?
That's funny you should ask that, because that's the first chapter. The day that I picked up Variety that day, and it was raining out, and I said, I'm looking through it, and I saw an ad. It says Friday the 13th, with that ad crashing through the glass. Remember that first ad?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was the very first ad that was ever printed. And it said Sean Cunningham in production of Friday the 13th, a new film by Sean Cunningham. So I had Sean's number. I called him right away, and because it was raining, he was home. And I said, Sean, Ron Millkie. He says, hey, Ron, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I says, anything in this new movie that you're doing called Friday the 13th? He says, Ron, it's cast. I'm sorry, we're already shooting. And he paused. He says, wait a minute, Ron. There is something for you. Why don't you come on up to Blairstown a couple days from there, and I'm going to send you overnight. In those days, this is before email. Overnight you a script, and this is a part that I was going to do, but you'd be good in it. So I got the script and I prepared, and I went up there, and I read with Kevin Bacon, Harry Crosby, Janine Taylor, Lauren, God bless her soul, and a few others, and they had already, gotten their parts. And so I was reading with them, and I said, oh, gee, I hope I'm doing good. But I heard Sean laughing, and then when I finished, Harry Crosby said, I'm unduly impressed, and Sean was smiling. So when he walked me back to my ride, he says, you got the part. And a couple of days later, I was on the set.
Oh, wow. So you worked, I think I read 2 days on the project.
Yeah, just 2 days. And, of course, we moved very quickly because it was low budget. Well, the budget was $600,000. Now, that was not so low back in 1979.
I would say that would be a lot back then, actually.
Oh, yeah.
For that film, yes. It's a lot.
Yeah, for those days, it wasn't such a low budget. And Sean had a reputation. I think he'd already done a couple of things. Bad News Bears. I wasn't sure if that was after. You guys would know. You're more into it. Was Bad News Bears before Friday the 13th or after?
Before, and he did Last House on the Left, right? He did.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So he wasn't, a total beginner out of film school.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And he knew what he was doing. And of course, the AD was Steve Miner, and we had a lot of fun on another film we had done a couple of years before. which I don't want to go into, okay? But we had a lot of... So I knew them both, and we got along fine. And Sean was a lot of laughs, very light, and Steve was a lot of fun, and it was just a pleasure. Yeah. And then working with Kevin Bacon, oh my God! I said this kid's going somewhere, because we had one quick rehearsal, and then we're filming the scene, and all of a sudden he's walking toward my motorcycle, and I'm saying, what is this kid doing? This is not in the script. So I improvised, and I followed him over, stay away from my bike, boy, and it worked.
Wow. I don't know when you came in during the shooting of it, but Adrian was telling us about the kind of the fun, camp-like atmosphere of the set. Did you walk in there and feel that yourself?
Yeah, I was like the hired day player, so everyone was getting along real well, and then I was hanging around even after they filmed my scene. I went over to the cabin, and they were filming the scene where Kevin gets the knife through the throat. Mm. So I watched them do that, and then Tom Savini mentioned something about he was doing a film, and then he was doing the makeup, and I met a lot of people, and it was a great time. Yeah, very, very friendly, and everyone was very nice and very professional. And then I met Betsy at the screening, Betsy Palmer, and she was so cute. She says, "Ron, do you think I did okay?" I says, "You were wonderful."
Oh, wow.
Very shy about it. And you think so? I says, "Yeah, you were great." It was a great time. Yeah.
She is spectacular.
Yeah.
She goes all out. So tell me about that. Excuse me, I'm sick. I'm still sick. I've been sick a couple of weeks.
Oh no, everybody. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually in Florida, and Jerry's in Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And our show number is in New York. So.
I didn't know people got sick in Florida. I thought everyone there was, eating orange, drinking grape juice, and
It's in the 30s here right now, and we're not used to that. So I know you are, because you're up there. You're up there in New York, right?
Well, everybody's sick up here.
Everyone's sick everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know
what's going around. Yeah. Tell me about the screenings. The first time that you saw yourself in this film with an audience, what was that experience like for you?
I'm laughing because I was horrified. And I said, well, this is a little comedy relief. Well, let me tell you, at that screening, it was just the cast and the people, the tech people, and everyone who worked in the film, and nobody laughed. I didn't hear one chuckle. I didn't hear anything. I said, oh man, I really flopped. And then I saw it a while later, after it had done its first run. It came to 42nd Street. But back in those days, 42nd Street had all these double featured houses,
Mm-hmm.
I went and I saw it again, and the audience was ethnically mixed, and they were laughing and they were clapping. And I said, "Oh God, thank you, God." So it worked. You had to have a civilian audience there,
Yeah, that is a real audience movie, as the genre is. Yeah, the genre itself is too.
Yeah.
So have you gone back for any of the anniversary screenings or seen it with an audience in recent years?
Yeah, I did. I went to about 2 years ago. I was supposed to go to New Jersey. This was very embarrassing. At Blairstown, some guy had called me and said, "We're going to do a special screening of at Blairstown for Friday the 13th." Now, this was like months before it happened, and I was in Florida, in Destin, Florida, because he forgot. He didn't call me. He didn't follow up, and then people call him. He says, "Ron, they said you're going to be at the screening of Friday the 13th. It was on Channel 11 here in New York." And they said, "Ron Millkie's going to be there, blah, blah, blah." I said, "My God, I didn't even know it was going to." He just talked to me a couple of months ago. I said, "Yes," but he didn't follow up, so I wasn't there. But I apologized to him, and then some people called and says, "Yeah, that we had a screening there. Too bad you weren't able to make it." I did go to the 25-year reunion in L.A., and that was it was a convention. Betsy was there, Adrian was there, and we did a screening at the right on Hollywood Boulevard there, that big theater, and we had a lot of people. And we were all up on stage afterward and answered questions, and that was fun. Yeah, it was. It's just amazing the way this thing took off, and none of us people said, "Did you know then that it was going to be a classic?" I said, "No way," we didn't know, and no one did.
Yeah, but when you're watching it as many years later, as opposed to when you watched it the first time, did you have any kind of different appreciation of it?
See, that's a hard question, because I have to be honest. I'm not a horror film fan. I really don't really care that much for horror films. People say, "What was your favorite horror film?" Well, my two favorite horror films, the one that really scared me was The Exorcist. Now, would you say that's a horror film? Is that in the genre or not?
A horror film in the sense that it's one of the scariest movies ever
made. But it also transcends the genre, too.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the other one was The Silence of the Lambs. Both of those films really, really scared me.
Both very good films, very excellent, well-done films.
So I have to say that for what it was very well done. And then I've seen a couple of others. I also liked the first 5 minutes of Scream. That's kind of scary. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, guys. I know it was very well done. I look at it once in a while. It's on TV, and I'll say, yeah, it was very, very well done for what it was. Yeah,
I was thinking more along the lines of because when you did it back in 79, 80, and you watch it, you're a little close to it. Yeah. So now with the benefit of 25 years of this enormous fandom, there has to be a great kind of satisfaction of being a part of something that has meant so much to the culture.
Oh, I am very grateful, absolutely, to you guys. I would be just another actor, and who did a few things, and it's meant a lot to me, and the passion of the fans. And I get a lot of requests in the mail, and I get, I just say SASE, send me the envelope, and I'll send you a picture. I'll sign it, and I'm very true to anybody who is a fan of Friday the 13th. I would never turn anybody down.
Excuse me, Ron, how many times a week, or do you get something every day regarding the film? Do you get stuff in the mail, like at least once a week? Or?
Something like once a week, yeah. And then sometimes they'll come 2 or 3 in a week, and nothing for a couple of weeks.
Right.
And lately, a lot of them have been from Europe, especially Germany and Belgium and England. Those 3 countries I get a lot of mail from. I also get a lot of mail from prisons. Now, isn't that weird?
That's a little strange.
It's a little strange, but
not guards either.
Not unheard of.
From guys that are doing time.
Yeah.
Wow. And they want you to send a picture?
They what? They want pictures. Yeah. And of course, I send them. And let me see. I'm going to look for that letter. I've got a letter here somewhere from one of the prisoners at the Hague. I don't know. I can't find it. I'm walking around with this phone. Anyway, yeah, I get a lot of not a lot, but every now and then I get one from different prisons, and they say, as you can see, I'm doing some time, and would you send me a picture, and then also send one to my buddy and say to Mark from Ron Millkie.
Wow. It's amazing the global reach of movies when they hit the zeitgeist. And I'm wondering your interaction with fans whenever you take part in. I'm sure you've taken part in the conventions and so forth. What is that experience like for you, one-on-one with the fans?
Well, I love my fans. I love the Friday the 13th fans, and many times I'm next to Betsy, and of course she's got a line a mile long. They're all sitting in line, and mine comes sporadically. I'm not like Betsy or Kane. They have huge followings. All the Jasons have huge followings. And but the people that follow me come right to my table, and they just liked Officer Dorff. I remember one time I saw a bunch of Japanese dudes coming toward me real fast, and I had to sign about 12 posters and they unfolded them, and I saw. They said, "How much?" I said, "Well, give me $100 for 10 of them, something like that." And then they left. So I said, "That's weird," So a lot of the fans are collectors, and they just want everybody's signature on the poster. Now these Japanese fellows, they didn't seem too impressed with me. They didn't want a photograph. Many times they want a photo. I'll give them a photograph, and then I'll give them a picture. I'll sign it, and whatever else they want, or sign their DVD or whatever. But these guys were like, just like, fine poster, thank you, and they ran off. Could have been anybody, you know what I mean? They just wanted my signature to complete the collection, so they'll have everybody from Friday the 13th signature on the poster.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get that, and then sometimes you get some very sweet, complimentary people. I had one guy at one of the conventions he says, I drove 3 miles because I'm a police chief, and all my guys always say to me, never keep the chief waiting. So you write that on a picture for me so I can put it up on the wall.
Wow. I know you teach acting now, among other things?
Yes, Yeah, I teach acting. That keeps me going, and I travel around doing seminars, and I was teaching at Hofstra University, but I got laid off last year. Things are bad, as you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have my private classes on Tuesday nights here in the city, and have a couple of other projects I'm working on. Like I said, I'm writing my autobiography, and then working on another project in China. We're working on it. I don't know if it'll ever happen. It's called Flying Tigers of World War II, and it's a 30-part miniseries. And I've been asked to play the lead in that, and it'll be dubbed into Mandarin Chinese. So that's one of the irons I have in the fire,
Well, here's a fun question. I had one more question about your acting school, but here's a fun question about your biography, your autobiography. If they were to make a movie out of it, who would you want to play you?
Oh, good question. Young Ron Millkie or old Ron Millkie?
Well, you choose both. Either the same person.
Oh, let me see. Gee, I would have had to have more time to think about this.
You could play. We did digital technology. You could play the part. I mean.
Well, Benjamin Button. If you see Benjamin Button, you can play the 20-year-old version of yourself.
Yeah, let me see. Somebody. There are so many good actors. Who's the kid that Tony? He's an action hero. You know what I'm talking about? He did an action movie. I think it was. He was jumping from buildings and all. I'm trying to think of his name. God. Oh man, can't think of it. Anyway, this is a kid who's not particularly good looking, but a terrific actor and a lot of personality. And he did not Iron Man.
Oh, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a...
And this was pre-Friday the 13th even,
Right.
So,
with your acting class, this film has reached so many generations. Are they aware? Certainly, they're aware that you're a part of this legacy, and are they awed by it? What do they say to you about it?
Well, if they go into my bathroom, that's where my museum is. I got pictures of everybody on the wall, and of Kane and Betsy, and signed autographs and pictures of me and different articles, so they know. Some of them are. I don't think anyone's awed by it. No. Some of them are impressed. Yeah, it's cool. But the theater itself is kind of elitist and snobbish, and it's not like not too many of the people in the theater in New York are into the genre of horror and sci-fi.
Sadly true. Sadly, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, we love the horror genre, but it's been maligned a lot over the years, but when a film works like Friday the 13th, it works.
We're still talking about
any genre film.
Yeah, well, let me ask you guys a question. Now, what is it? I mean, most of the fans are in their mid to late 30s, early 40s, a little bit younger sometimes. What is it exactly that attracted you guys in such a feverish manner?
Nostalgia, I think, in one sense, because it takes me back to like not elementary school. But I must be honest, I'm not the biggest horror fan there is. But there is when you watch like reading about the conventions and interviewing you, there's a certain level of nostalgia because we remember my brothers going to see these movies because they're a lot older than me. Or I remember our friends, like brothers and sisters, going to see these films with their girlfriends and boyfriends to the drive-through.
Yeah.
I remember these movies would play at the drive-thru around here. And they were always telling us about them. You've got to see this movie. And I remember reading Famous Monsters, and Friday the 13th was featured prominently in there for years to come. Even sequels. I mean, every issue, just always with the latest exploits of Jason and all that. So,
and it really is part of the culture. It defined the cinematic kind of landscape of that era too.
Yeah, okay. So it's something, it brings you back to your childhood, and I can understand that because I remember.
And it's great fun.
They're fun films.
Yep. Yeah. I remember seeing Them. Do you know that one? Them, about the giant ant?
That was just on New Year's Day on Turner Classic Movies. That's a great
I love
that film.
Really? Oh, I'd love to see that again. And Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Well, that's one of the best. He passed
how old
away
I am.
last year.
I was very, very young.
The guy who played that, the Gilman, passed away last year.
No.
Yes,
really?
He got a, listen to this, in The Economist magazine, got a full-page obituary in The Economist.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And of all magazines, The Economist.
I know. I was dumbfounded.
Yeah. Wow. What? How old was he?
Oh, I forget. He must. I want to say in his 80s. I want to say, but I'm not positive about that.
And did he do other work that that was well known?
I think he did other work, but he was primarily known for playing the Gill Man.
Isn't life strange and crazy, huh?
It sure is. And your life has been a journey. And seriously, I can't wait to read the autobiography.
Yeah, you got to come back.
Yeah,
you definitely have to come back. Thank you, Ron. Have a good night.
10-4 over and out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.